Time to round up a big topic from the week. Uber says their time in Houston may be coming to an end. Uber is threatening to pull out of the city over Houston's requirement that Uber drivers get fingerprinted. The company itself does not require that, and they say the requirement cuts down their pool of potential drivers and argues other cities don't have that same regulation. Mayor Sylvester Turner says the city won't budge on its policies and pointed out several cases here in Houston of Uber drivers with a criminal history. He says it's a problem that could be easily fixed by requiring fingerprinting. Again, a regulation Uber doesn't want. So that's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page and on Twitter. You can use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in our newsroom is our panel led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico. We also have attorney Nomi Hussein and Republican strategist and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So Uber is basically saying, look, these are folks, these are drivers who just want to make a little bit of money on the side, and having them go through the time of getting fingerprinted and paying for that, it's too much, and we have our own background checks. What do you think about their argument?
I think it's ridiculous, quite frankly. This is not an Uber policy. It's a city ordinance that says if you're going to be a taxi driver, you have to have a city-sponsored background check, and that includes, by city ordinance, a fingerprinting so that they can do a proper background check. It's, as Mayor Turner said, it's for the safety of the citizens of the city of Houston. Uber can say all it wants. This is just a part-time job for people who just want to give people rides, but the city has the right and the legal duty to ensure that the people who are taxi cab drivers are doing it in a safe and proper fashion. And so it's not the idea to drive Uber out of business. It's the idea to ensure that the people are safe. Every story I have seen about this issue since this broke, every driver I have seen that done it. So I'm not really sure what the issue is, other than Uber trying to force its push the city around by the sheer weight of the size of this company.
Absolutely, completely agree with you, Chris. Houston is on track to be the third largest city in America after New York and Los Angeles. Trust me, Uber's not going anywhere. This is a negotiation, and we all know Jackie's a great negotiator. You're a great negotiator. When you're negotiating, and it's in Uber's interest. So I think this is really an issue that's going to get worked out. Uber is just trying to throw around its muscle, and at the end of the day, the city's going to prevail. I
think it was Austin, Texas, that Uber said goodbye and left over the same issue, and they did leave. No, Galveston. I'm sorry, it was Galveston. They did leave.
And they're threatening to leave Austin, and they're not. And officials have said they're not going to leave Austin. And look, I use Uber quite a bit, and I think
you drink that much.
Ha ha ha. As a single woman, I don't want to drive around at night at times, and so I do use Uber. But the point of driving or using Uber is because I want to be safe and not drive myself. So I say thank you to Mayor Turner for sticking to these strict policies, because he is looking out for the safety of his residents and his constituents. I also had a chance to visit with Councilmember Michael Kubosh, and he actually agrees with the strict terms that the city has imposed, but he also says that there's a way, as you were talking about compromise, there's a way that we actually could get a compromise, because whenever they're up for the renewal of their license, there are a lot of steps that they could take away to not make it so burdensome on the drivers. But I want to say thank you to Mayor Turner and our officials for looking out for the safety of the residents first.
And you call it twice, you called it a strict policy. I don't find it strict to say, come down, do a fingerprint, and do a background check.
Those are the words that Uber
uses, but it's not strict.
Are using, and I'm glad they're using those policies.
But it's just not strict.
Absolutely, it's not strict. I mean, if you're a company, you need to do a background check on your employee, especially if they're going to be driving around single women, such as Jackie, or your children, or your wife, or your daughter. So this is in Uber's interest. I'm not sure what all the hullabaloo is about.
Let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media. Maybe.
The vast majority of comments on social media are in favor of the city. So let's head to Twitter. I will take a look at Dow Texas first. This person says, I'm a big user of Uber, but man, y'all are unreasonable crybabies. Just fingerprint drivers, keep riders safe, and move on. Craig Lavati says if Uber leaves Houston, it's the bars that will suffer the most, he believes. And Chris Banks says the beauty of the free market is if Uber leaves, there will be someone to replace them in 6.34 seconds. Go ahead, concede this market.
I don't know about the timing, but the 6.34 seconds, but that's actually where I was going to go next, was that last tweet, is that if Uber leaves, I can't think of the other company, but if Uber leaves, that other company will step right in, the other ride-sharing company, Lyft. They're already here. I mean, if Uber leaves, they're just going to fill that slot.
And we'll just call a yellow cab. We'll just call a cab. And one of the things that Uber was saying whenever they were talking about these strict policies, they were saying that it was burdensome on their drivers. Well, at the ending of the day, if it is burdensome, which I don't agree with, we would prefer to have that than to have our safety being challenged.
Right. I mean, I just don't get it.
Absolutely. Uber, they're saying it's burdensome. What happens if one of their employees, God forbids, that's one of their drivers or independent contractors, does something?
They already have.
Well, exactly. So how burdensome is that? Dealing with the PR, dealing with the legal issues, dealing with the business issues. So that's going to be much more burdensome. This is very short-sighted on behalf of Uber.
I don't think they realize that these strict policies that the city has is actually helping them. They think that it's only the city's only doing it because of the constituents, but it's actually helping to protect Uber.
And at the end of the day, wouldn't this save Uber money if the driver had to pay to do their own background check through the city and they didn't have to go through Uber?
Not only that, and at the ending of the day, like Nomi said, they're not pulling out of Houston. They threatened, they said if the residents of Austin voted against them, they're going to pull out of Austin, but then they said, no, we're not. So this is just a way for them to try to get the city to loosen up, and thank goodness the city's not listening.
And the Super Bowl's coming here. They're not going to leave before that happens. We're going to leave it right there. We'll be back in 20 minutes with another really good topic.
That is a very good point. Yeah. All right. Hey